Beer life.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to another Oakland Slam virtual edition. We are back with another kick-ass night of poetry and art and creative debauchery. But before we get into today's show is brought to you by our support from our generous patrons over on Patreon and viewers like you. This show, while super rewarding, still has to abide by the merciless rules of capitalism. So every contribution you given to us helps Rich Oak Events plan, budget, and ensure that we can continue doing things like paying for all of our featured artists, supporting local fledgling writers, and providing a space for the East Bay community to enjoy live art. So we would like to thank in particular Renee Edmonds, Stephanie Yaboa, Emily Chow, and Kalalili for being regular patrons. Shout out to Jessica Kosakik for sponsoring one of our weekly workshops, and a special thank you to Alice Grimm for pledging $100 a month in support of one of our venues, the Allen Bluford Center for Justice. If you enjoy anything that you see tonight, or you just love the arts, please head over to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events. There you can sign up for different tiers of support from $2 a month all the way up to $100 a month that do things like help pay for our venues, help us meet our goals, and give back to our community. So if this interests you, again, head over to patreon.com/Rich Oak Events. Or you can always donate to us one time via Cash App at #, Rich Oak Events, or at our Venmo, at Rich Oak Slam. We are dropping all of those links in the chat. Don't worry, you don't have to remember about those. But thank you, as always, for all of your generous support. And now, on to the show. Gang, 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 gang. We got a dope show for y'all tonight. As I said earlier, it is a slam, and a slam is a competition. Competitions, any good competition, has some goddamn rules. And first up is our rules for our poets. No props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment other than what you can make with your own voice and body. But most importantly, is our time limit. You have 3 minutes with a grace period of 10 seconds to spit one original poem. After 3 minutes and your grace period of 10 seconds, you will be deducted points by our scorekeeper L. After 4 minutes, you will be muted by our god of slam, Arvin. The only exception to our time, our only caveat to our time is that your time starts at first utterance, unless it is a trigger warning or a mic check. So you can get on and say, hey, can you hear me? Trigger warning, and then start your poem. But if you have an introduction first and then do your trigger warning, sorry, your time has already started. So make sure you get that out the way first. The top 3 poets. Oh, wait, we only have 3 poets tonight. So everyone will be making it into the second round. The top poet will be winning $50. So they're not just competing for fame. They are also competing for, I'm not going to say fortune. $50 is like 1 dozen eggs. But there is money on the line. There are pretty low stakes. But we keep it fun for you, our audience. Which brings us, $50 is like most of a tank of gas in Buffalo. That's like a quarter tank out here. But we also have rules for our judges. Judges, you will be scoring poetry from 0.0 to 10.0 using up to 1 decimal point. A 0.0 is quite literally the worst piece of shit you have ever heard in your life. You wouldn't wipe your ass with the paper it is written on. You would rather die and take everyone you love with you than listen to a single line of that poetry again. Hell, you would rather die than even be reminded of a line of that poetry. It is that bad. A 10.0 is the best poem you have ever heard. This shit cured cancer. It fixed the relationship with your parent. They said, I love you and I'm proud of you. All that trauma you had like 2 seconds before you heard that poem, it's gone. It's gone. Don't ask me where it went because that poem took care of it. The point being, there are not many zeros, there are not many 10s, so score accordingly. We ask that you stay as consistent as possible. As the night goes on and you may start feeling the vibe, be gigging and shaking to all of the poetry. Poetry magically starts to sound better. Please do not do that shit. We want the person who goes first to have just as big of a chance to win as the person who goes last. So to help you out, we will have a sacrifice. This person will go first. You will score them as if they are in the slam. They are not in the slam, but they are your calibration poet, your practice round. So anybody you like more, score them higher. Anybody you like less, score them lower. But please, please, I cannot stress this enough. Stay consistent. And last but not least, we have rules for the audience. Yes, that's you. I love telling people what to do in their own house. But first off, like, subscribe, share our Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at the Oakland Poetry Slam. Comment on the feed. Let people know how much you love to hear their poems, what is resonating with you. And our final rule, and more of a guideline, a community agreement, a warning, if you will, is that this stage is a freedom of speech zone. That means anybody can come up here and say whatever the fuck they want to say. But freedom of speech does not mean freedom from accountability. So if someone says something fucked up, you can let them know. You can have a conversation with them respectfully. You can have a conversation with them in the comment section respectfully. If it gets disrespectfully, you'll just get blocked. But we didn't come out here to get blocked. We came out here to watch live art. So let's keep it cute. Let's keep it classy. But most importantly, let's keep it fun because we have a dope ass night. So are y'all ready to hear who is in the slam?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it. All righty. So poets will be reading in this order. Please do not shoot the messenger. I did not randomize the list. I just got it and read it out. We're starting the night off with Nicole Tracy, followed by Hunya Travels, and ending the round off with Dawn. Give it up for everybody in the slam tonight. Gang, 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 gang.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So on deck, we have our first poet in the slam, Nicole Tracy, but coming up to the stage right now. Give maximum love for your sacrifice, Colin. Woo! It's me. I'm just kidding. It's me. Sometimes the cops follow the bus at night on the north side because the mayor refuses to send city property into the hood unprotected. Protection is for the worthy. And this bus services even the grimiest neighborhoods, and the badge says, can't y'all see we doing y'all a favor? Ain't this bus your ride too? We're only protecting you from yourselves. It's like y'all niggas don't want our help, and us niggas are too busy placing flowers by the roadside to even notice. There are no words a grieving tongue can speak, so these lilies are the only thing that we have to say that we miss you. Down the block, candles are relit. Liquor is poured out for the dead homies. These streets are drunk tonight. Belly warm with blood and cognac, these streets drink dark liquor. Says it tastes sweeter, ain't got much bite to it, goes down smooth, so I could always take another shot, and that's all niggas do around here is shoot. And then place flowers by the roadside, so we must be some kind of gangster gardener. You know, green thumb on one hand and itchy trigger finger on the other, because all niggas do around here is kill and mourn, keep 9 tucked close and head on the swivel through the darkness, shed tear for those who won't live to see the daylight. These streets are so deadly and silent on a night like this. The stillness only disturbed by the sound of diesel engine roaring down the concrete. Its escort flashes a blue and red warning to all of the hood saying, don't you bring all that death around here. Woo! Give it up one more time for your sacrifice. Judges, if you could If you could do me a favor and send your scores down to our scorekeeper, L. Someone in the chat is saying give it a 10. And all I have to say is judges follow your heart. Good. All right. So that was our sacrifice, y'all. Are we ready to start the actual show with the actual performers now?
Woo!
All right. So on deck, meaning you are not coming up to the stage right now, but you are next. So get ready. Is Hanya Travels. But give it up for our first performer of the night. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Gang, 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 gang.
Mic check.
We can hear you.
New shit.
New shit?
Content warning for mentions of abuse and death. Logically, I know you are not her, but my first reaction is still to close my eyes if something is thrown my way. Apologize for being a person. Shrink until you can't find me. Stay away instead of being in the way. Never argue and apologize myself into silence. I hold my breath because even exhaling feels like I take up too much space sometimes, and the burning in my lungs feels like home instead of danger, comfort instead of concern. My hands are shaking. Every muscle is so tense, I could snap in half at any moment. I learned too young how to hold my tears in my throat because crying always made it worse, and emotions never fixed the problem. Faceless internet affirmation says to heal your inner child. But I do not want to heal her. I want to bury her. Mourn her loss at a private funeral. I fill her casket with things too heavy to carry. Endless echoes from years past. Notes unread and unsent. Photos my mother insisted on keeping. Photos my mother kept calling happy memories. I rip these in half down the middle and watch them fall. Instead, I am proud of who I have become. Someone strong enough who knows climbing into the casket after my inner child will not undo the pain, will not change the past. Instead, I tell her, I love you, I love you, I love you. Make sure that is all she hears. I love you, I love you, I love you.
All right, give it up one more time for Nicole Tracy. Gang, 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 gang. And for reference, our sacrifice got a score of a 27.3. Judges, send your scores into L. All right, moving right along. On deck, we got Don, but coming up to the stage, give maximum love for Hanya Travels.
Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Establishments. Oh, hold on. Is the mic working?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'll go start again. Establishment takes a long way. You can follow someone that is telling you, or you could find your way on your own. Establishments takes a long way. It's you who knows your way through. Establishment takes a long way. Establishment takes a long way. People degrade you. People manipulate you. Establishments take a long way. Establishments take a long way. Thank you.
All right, give it up one more time for Hanya Travels. Gang, 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 gang. All right, and send your scores into L. And for reference, we got a 27.4 for our last poet, Nicole. Gang, 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 gang. And if you didn't know, we don't just do these poetry shows virtually, in person, but we also host writing workshops, both virtually and in person. So if you feel inspired by anything you see tonight and you're thinking, damn, I wish I knew how to write a poem. Or maybe you do know how to write a poem. You're like, damn, I wish I had a poetry idea. Or maybe you do have a poetry idea. You're like, damn, I wish I had a space to write. We got you. Because before almost every one of our shows, including this one, at 7 o'clock before the Oakland Slam on Zoom, we have a free writing workshop. That's right, it's free. You don't pay shit to get up in. You just show up to the Zoom. But one of our poets wrote their poem in the writing workshop. So maybe you get up, maybe you do come to the workshop. Maybe you write a poem. Maybe you slam. Maybe you win some money. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just giving you ideas. But now we are on to the show because on deck, we got round 2. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love for our last poet of the first round. Give it up for Don.
Can y'all beautiful people hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
If there's one thing Black people like to do yearly, it's have a cookout, a barbecue, the yearly family seafood boil, where we eat fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, eat potato salad only if my auntie makes, because you cannot have everybody. At the barbecue, me and my cousin do the annual walk around the block, make sure none of the food goes to waste, and yes, somebody always brings something that none of us can never digest. The uncle, the auntie, the parent that we talk about in private. They have good table manners when they are at the dinner table, as if they ain't touched a child, made seasonings out of our baby's sexuality, say that child moved too fast like the rape and pressure cooked them into adulthood. At the barbecue, all family is welcome because we treat this trauma like food. Swallow until our eyes become bigger than our stomachs, and when it does, we tend for a wrap the PTSD so none of it goes to waste because Black people are taught to never waste what is on their plates. Never make excuses about something that was an accident. Shuck the cornrow memories we hold on to that the rapist of the family always gets an invite. Pass deny around like first serving children to at the kiddie table, stay out of grown folks' business, annoy on the signs, while everything should remain normal. At the barbecue, we start questioning why some of us don't come around anymore. Like how when we start breaking generational curses, if we all become skinny. Now I'm big enough to eat Big Mama's fried chicken because she said a family sticks together through thick and thin, yet you don't realize my palate for what's acceptable in this family has aged out of my arteries. The thing about family trauma is that it isn't too big and it sounds like aggression. Aggression turns Thanksgiving clap back, barbecue beat down, say your mental health ain't worth tearing this family apart. Yeah, we treat trauma like ribs. Let their mental health fall off the bone, serve beside excuses and suicide attempts to ask God what went wrong. If self-preservation be the reason why the barbecue stopped, then let it be clogged arteries, the itis, let it be a sign that we won't tolerate trauma being a cause and effect. Won't let our children be fed on at the barbecue like we have. Let our children suffer the same way we have, then called child adversity, because I don't ever want my babies to be fed on at the barbecue like I have my babies, feeling medium rare, dripping with secrets that I never know, like my mother who found out until it was too late to let the family know that they got the right one on the right day, talking about me as if I wasn't there when I was at the dinner table. Because we teach the adults to forget what happened to themselves, children be held accountable for their actions, so fuck the barbecue. Yeah, we forgive like family do because blood is thicker than water until you drown.
Wow, I was muted. Give it up one more time for Don. That was embarrassing. Oh, I was muted. Oh. It happens to the best of us. Everybody, remember to unmute yourself when you want to, like, I don't know, say something to everybody on the internet. Shit. Uh, and right, judges, if you could send your scores over to L. And for reference, our last poet, Hunya Travels, got a score of a 25.0. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang.
Let's go, let's go.
All right. So we got a second round coming up for y'all. Our second round is going to be in reverse order of appearance. So, you know, on some biblical shit, the first will be last, the last will be first. So if you went first, you'll be going last. If you went last, you'll be going first. And if you were in the middle, you chilling. You used to it. We've been through this before, but to give our first poet a little bit more time, I would like to shout out our YouTube page. Some of y'all are watching us on YouTube right now. If you are not, go check us out, Bay Poets Unite, over on YouTube. We don't just have our live streams, but we have a lot of older videos from our in-person shows of standalone performances. So if you want to see work from specific artists, our YouTube page is the place to check it out. And we're actually about to get started on, we just came back in person last year, and we're really focused on getting the Berkeley Slam team back together and going out for competitions. But we have a lot of content that we can put out, and we're going to be working on some new stuff. So check out all of our social media to keep up to date with all the new content. And if you want exclusive content, make sure to get tapped in with our Patreon, because there's going to be some new exclusives there. So please tap in with us if you are looking for more content from us. All righty. So we have our list. Poets will be reading in this order. Like I said, it's reverse order of appearance. So we'll be starting the night off with Dawn, then Hunya Travels, and ending the night off with Nicole Tracy. And the last poet, for reference, got a score of a 28.5. Give it up for the poet. All righty.
Gang, 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 gang.
On deck, we got Hunya Travels. But coming up to the stage, give another round of applause. This is the encore for Dawn. Woo!
When my sister says grandma was part Indian, I say grandma wasn't no Indian, as if Black people need to be mixed to know beauty, to know the mirror is happy to see them state. I took an ancestry test in college. Results read 70.1% African, 29.2% white. Figure the white came from the slave masters raping one of my ancestors. My sister says grandpa was white, and there I began to Venus flytrap into an identity crisis. Could feel my DNA beginning to unravel after truth. My sister said our grandfather, Jewish man, left my grandmother to raise 6 boys. How else do you think you got those eyes? I did not expect to think a white man for seeing with so much color. I wonder, the last time he saw her, did he think fuck them kids, or was she too interracial relationship? Did he not see himself in those boys? Did he not think his absence would eat away at our existence? My father refused to talk about a man he did not know. My father doesn't like uncomfortable conversations. Wonder if my grandfather left because he doesn't either. I'm not mad about the white, but how Black Americans create culture, language, beguile herself, yet the world tries to cracken us open, tell us to go back to where we came from, as if we asked to be here in the first place. I guess being a Black American is to know what home feels like, but still make do with what you got. Question: am I allowed to wear kente if all I have is the DNA test to prove it, or will I be seen as something colonized? Stand too close and they may end up on a slave ship. Be another lost African American. To be a Black American is to feel lost in and outside yourself. I wonder if my father hoards Black objects to overpower his father, that find meaning in his skin to be more than a lost Black boy. Because what does the world know about lost Black boys and they traffic our bodies like they traffic us from West Africa? My father be a black hole collapsing in on himself. I be a setting sun eclipsed in darkness and an unspoken privilege. to know where you grew from, to not have to create yourself from scratch, to be your ancestors' wildest dreams, not a white man's nightmare, identity loss. It's the one to find yourself, but your grandmother is dead, and your father never knew the man, and your siblings are okay with that.
All right, give it up one more time for Dawn. Gang, 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 gang. Judges, I'm once again asking you to send your score over to L. And while they're doing that, I'll give a shout out to one of our other shows, Berkeley Slam. We also produce the Berkeley Poetry Slam. So if you are located in the San Francisco Bay Area, we will be at the Starry Plow, not just tomorrow, but every single Wednesday till the end of time. We are at the Starry Plow in Berkeley. It is a competition. There are $200 in cash prizes. So come on down. There's also a workshop before that at 7 p.m. We would love to see you there. It's great when it's a family affair. And on deck is Nicole Tracy. But coming up to the stage, give maximum love for Hanya Travels.
Demographics of beauty standards. So the demographics of beauty standards are usually that you have to be thin, slim, and you have to look a certain way. But the thing is, it's not. You can have weight gain issues, weight loss issues. The stereotypes, you're pressurized to look thin. So what is the meaning with demographics, with beauty standards? Do we have to really all need the hourglass shape, or do we not? For someone like myself, who used to be thin and now gained weight, there's so much pressure into looking thin. So what are beauty standards? Beauty standards to me are just demographics that are just numbers that I think that we're pressurized to feel like a certain way. So that's what beauty standards is. Beauty standards could be in many ways, and it's usually just about being skinny or thin, or being skinny or chubby. That's the way how it is. The demographics of beauty standards. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Hanya Travels. Gang, 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 gang. All right. And for reference, our last poet, Don, got a score of a 28.3. Give it up for the poet. Gang, 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 gang. Bra, bra, bra. And judges, please send your scores for Hanya over to L. And on deck, we have finding out who wins this money and ending the show. We give maximum love to our last poet of the night. Give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Woo! 10 things you should know by now. 1, the first boy will break your heart. So will the second and third and fourth. He will try and make you into something easier for him. 2, only change for yourself. Go out dancing alone, and if your boyfriend makes a fit of it, go again. Go alone, go with friends, leave him at home. Just leave him. 3, don't be ashamed for what makes you happy. Trashy reality TV is everyone's guilty pleasure. You can like school and be smarter than your boyfriend. They should make light up sneakers in adult sizes too. 4, try everything new you can. Stringed instruments are harder to learn than woodwinds. Part of stand-up comedy is learning to fall on your face and still laugh. Painting is a mess, but very relaxing. Zumba and kickboxing are great ways to feel great. Don't worry, I'm sure learning to ride a bike is overrated anyway. 5, date yourself. Not in the self-discovery cliche way, but take yourself out to dinner, the movies, a new coffee shop, watch the sunrise, enjoy your own company. 6, do not go back to the first boy, or the second or third or fourth. You cannot change him. He shouldn't change you. 7. Go buy a vibrator. You love how your friend talks about hers and you want to find out for yourself. You're welcome. 8. When you got your first period, it was not a betrayal. It was a natural part of growing up. You don't need to feel guilty for hating your body anymore. After all, you learned your body did not betray you for changing. 9. You were not selfish for leaving toxic people behind, even if they are your blood relatives, especially if they are your blood relatives. Learning to make the best decision for you is an invaluable lesson. 10. Soon you will not wonder who you are because you know you were always becoming.
All right, give it up one more time for Nicole Tracy. Gang, 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 gang. Judges, for the last time, send your scores over to L. And our last poet, for reference, Hanya got a score of a 25.1. Give it up for the poet. Gang, gang, gang. Gang, gang, gang. Gang, 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 gang. All righty. As we are rating for our final scores to get tabulated and our score for the last poet, I mentioned one of our shows, the Berkeley Poetry Slam, but I'll give the other shows their due shout out. So there's the Berkeley Poetry Slam every single Wednesday at the Starry Plow. Workshop starts at 7. Show starts at 8:30. $200 in cash prizes, so come on out for that. There's of course us, the Oakland Slam, here on Zoom and on the internet every third Tuesday. Then there's also the Rich Oak Alchemy Open Mic every first and third Saturday at the Alan Bluford Center for Justice. Yes, we are back. Every first and third Saturday, Alan Bluford Center for Justice, kick-ass open mic. This is not just for the poets, but if you do comedy, if you sing, if you dance, we got a motherfucker who come down with a drum and really get it popping. But this is for like all the creatives to really just showcase art as a totality and not just performing art as a totality and not just poetry, because there's a lot of dope people in our community who don't do poetry but do other things, and we want to highlight those folks as well. Daydreamers Poetry every second Saturday at every second Saturday at Medicines for Nightmares, really dope bookstore in San Francisco. We got Daydreamers Poetry. It's a very short open mic and a curated list. Are we still doing virtual alchemies?
The plan was to, but we haven't been able to organize them together at the moment.
Okay. So we recently pivot from doing online shows, from online for alchemy back to being in person. We just got the go-ahead from the venue and the space has opened back up, but we do plan are in the works of resuming our online presence, because alchemy online has quite honestly been like a saving grace for me during the pandemic. And there have been a ton of really amazing folks that we've met here and on Instagram and through our online platforms that we still want to stay connected to. So no promises, because it takes a little bit to organize things like this, but I think we can try to make a commitment to have our online platform back for our next show. So to answer your question, we will be back online for alchemy, and yes, you can do comedy. I love to laugh. But I have my scores. So first off, our last poet, Nicole's second round score was a 27.0. Alrighty, so we have our total scores. In third place, with a score of a 50.1, we got Hanya Travels. Woo!
Let's go.
Gang, 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 gang. Anya, is this your first time on at our show?
Yeah, it's my first time. Like I've done a virtual slam poetry before, and I've done it like once or twice in person. So I'm still getting the hang of this.
Nice. Thanks so much for coming. We really hope to see you again. Definitely check out some of our other online shows like Alchemy. But yeah, we love to see new folks. Maybe did you pop into the workshop today?
Yeah, I did.
Awesome. Awesome. I wasn't able to be at the workshop, but hopefully I'll see you at a workshop too.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks so much for coming out. Give it up one more time for Hanya Travels.
Yeah.
All right. In second place, with a score of a 54.4, give it up for Nicole Tracy.
Thanks. Come to the workshops. Oh my goodness, there's so many events that you do. How can I keep track of them all?
Best way to keep track of it is our website, richoakevents.org. You know, we all professional and shit.
Linktree. If it's not on the website, it's on.
Oh, it's not on the website? Let me stop giving y'all bad information. Linktree.com/richoakevents.
No, I'm saying if it's not on the website, then it should be on our Linktree.
Okay. Yeah. I would say if it's not on the website, then it will be on our Linktree. So a backup link would be linktree.com/richoakevents. That's another great place to see everything that we have going on. And it doesn't just have our events, it also has all of our social media, so you can keep up to date with that as well. Stay tapped in, don't get caught lacking. Thanks so much for that question, Nicole. All right, and that means in first place, with a score of a 56.8, winning 50 American but virtual dollars, give it up for Dawn.
Thank y'all so much. I came super late because I was playing Spider-Man. Getting for Spider-Man 2. So I apologize for my lateness. It is always a pleasure to be here with you all. Nicole, you are always here. You're always dope and you're always great. And shout outs to Colin for hosting and being amazing, and Tino for being that guy, and everybody for being here and having a party.
Thank you so much. It's always great to see you. We made it to the end of our show, y'all. Thank y'all so much for coming. Shout out to everybody in the show tonight. It was really amazing. Now that all the scores are out and I can be a biased host, I love seeing new work. I love seeing new people. Y'all always keep the poetry fire. Shout out to our scorekeeper for doing all the math tonight. Appreciate you. Shout out to Arvin for keeping the live stream going, aka Livestream GPT, our AI assisted live streaming assistant. Thanks, Tino, for about managing and getting all this together and making sure we got it together. Shout out to everybody at home for rocking with us, because like without y'all, we would just be a bunch of crazy motherfuckers screaming trauma or like political points into a Zoom meeting. Y'all make this art and entertainment. So thank you all so much for rocking with us another month. We hope to see you next month right here on Zoom every third Tuesday, like always. I have been Colin. This has been the Oakland Poetry Slam virtual edition. We will see y'all next month.